So welcome back, everyone. This is your instructor, Dr. Oscar Rodriguez, and this is the first lecture on our brand new course with emphasis on ladder logic programming. Once again, if you have not taken my free Introduction to PLCs class, I recommend that you do that before you move on with this new course. However, there's going to be some overlap, a little bit of overlap, at least in the beginning lectures, that is going to review some of the concepts that I shared with you back in our previous free course on Introduction to PLCs. But once again, I think it's beneficial if you do take that free course, Introduction to PLCs, before you come to this ladder logic programming class. But let's go back and review some of those concepts. The first question somebody may ask is, what is a PLC? As a matter of fact, there's actually a new word called PACs. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. But PLC stands for Programmable Logic Controller. And the purpose of PLCs is to use it to control machines and processes. Another name that is given to PLCs is automation in a box, to refer to those industrial computer electronic systems. Now, the word PACs also is becoming more and more prevalent as they talk about programmable automation controllers. It's similar, and not exactly. In a nutshell, what a PAC is an innovation in the PLC technology. All right, so this is what the definition of PLCs is and what the use of those PLCs is for, and what scenarios we use. And we're going to show you here a couple of pictures on PLCs. Just a minute. Here we have a very compact type of PLCs, and there's a variety of them. We're not going to focus particularly on a specific brand. However, I will use a brand, but hopefully the idea with you taking this class is that you will be able to take the knowledge of ladder logic programming to any situation or PLC that uses ladder logic as the primary programming language. And so with that, here I have what I call a compact PLC that we will discuss the parts of the PLC in a little while. But for the time being, I just want to give you an idea that there's two primary types of PLCs. One is what we call a compact unit PLC, and this is the one we're looking at, where everything is really put together in a single box. And in reality, there's not much that you can repair, and the ability to control is limited to the number of inputs and outputs, or IOs, that this controller has. So this is a brand, and it's what we call a compact PLC, which is part of what we're going to be using to show you a lot of logic programming aspects. Okay. The other type of PLC that I mentioned previously is what we call a modular or expandable PLC. Here again, we have a particular brand, Allen Bradley PLC. I'm not promoting any company here, but just to make the case, as you can see, this is a little larger unit, and it's got compartments. All right, and here you actually can change and replace and add on more modules to this controller. Now, this is a what we call a modular or expandable PLCs, and it's primarily used for larger machines, larger processes, or larger applications. So with this in mind, what I want to leave you with is that there's at least two kinds of PLCs: a compact PLCs and a modular PLC. The compact is limited to a number of IOs. The expandable or modular is one that you can add on and expand on and use for larger applications. All right, and so in a nutshell, if we review the concept here of what we're studying, we're saying once again that PLC stands for Programmable Logic Controller, and that this machine or controller or device can be used to automate machines and processes. And the other name provided to a PLC is automation in a box. That's another name that they refer to this industrial computer or electronic control systems. And once again, this is probably something I address on the other course. Nonetheless, we need to start by someplace, especially if you decide that you don't want to take the other course that I've given you free, but they want to start with this one. So this is part of the overlap of information that we have. What a PLC is and what the actual applications are, and the two basic types of PLCs that we have, which we have described them as compact PLC or in a single unit PLC versus the modular PLC. All right, so we're gonna stop here, and I encourage you to review this information, take the quiz, and then move on to the next video lecture. All right, we'll see you in a little bit. Bye-bye. One of the areas where applications of PACs and PLCs are prevalent, well, actually, this idea of automation and PLC controllers is all over the place, but the food industry, if you do a quick search on automated or PLC control food process or food machine, you're going to find filling machine control systems, water pump systems, the changeovers, and so on and so forth. There'll be a form of a controller to do that. In addition to the food, there's also the manufacturing per se, lead acid battery plants, complete manufacturing systems, extruder factories, silo feeding control systems. And once again, I advise that you do a quick search, Google or Yahoo search, on PLC control or operated manufacturing system, extruder, silos, and so on and so forth. And you'll find that those controllers we're going to be talking about programming are there. One other industry here, talking about examples, is the textile industry, one of the oldest industries. Industrial batching, washing machines, control systems, closed loop textile shrinkage systems, and this is actually just on the surface. But in my experience, almost every time I turn around and I see a type of machine or process or processes, there's going to be a controller there. And the market actually is held or hold by two main companies that do controllers, right? The other type of application is plastics. Plastics really is a giant industry, and of course there's a lot of machines and processes, extruders, injection molding control systems and such. Those are some of the type of plastic control processes and applications that you're going to find somehow a form of electronic control, whether that's a PLC, PAC, or similar kind of system. So here we go. We got named quite a few. I think I got one more here that I wanted to mention. Once again, do a Google or Yahoo search, and you're going to find these apps. The printing industry, for instance, is another one. Multi-stage screen washing, offset web press, print register control systems. Everything that you could possibly automate, you will find a way to do it. And typically, whether that's an individual machine or multiple machines, you're going to have a form of a controller. So the idea of PLCs is giant. All right, and it's great that you have taken the step to do this class. So we'll see you in a little bit.